Believe in yourself. Believe in your model. Get your confidence back up. And I say confidence is Godfidence for me. Stay strong. And if you ever need me, I'm just a phone call away, sisters.
Welcome to the One Girl Revolution podcast. It's your girl Kate here with another episode, another inspiring woman's story. Before we get into it, make sure that you subscribe to the One Girl Revolution podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please share it with everyone you know. Make sure that you're following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. There are so many great things happening, and we don't want you to miss anything. Also, check out our website, onegirlrevolution.com and onegirlrevolution.org for more information, podcast episodes, t-shirts, so many great things up on our website. Again, it's onegirlrevolution.com. We are so grateful for you and for all that you do to support this revolution. On this week's episode of the One Girl Revolution podcast, I welcome the amazing Michelle Robinson, founder of Bountiful Blessings. I stumbled upon Michelle's story on social media, and as I was reading about Bountiful Blessings, I knew that I had to have her on the podcast. Michelle has such an incredible story of perseverance and resilience. She was homeless, struggled with addiction, she survived abuse. She made it through so much and now is using her own life, her own power, and her experiences to help others through Bountiful Blessings. Bountiful Blessings provides clothing, baby items, formula, food, resources, anything that anyone needs. If they're struggling to pay a bill, Bountiful Blessings can help. If someone needs housing or food or anything else, Bountiful Blessings will get you whatever you need. And if they don't have access to it or don't have the funding you need, they'll help you find it. Michelle and Bountiful Blessings are changing the world every single day, and they are an example that we can all make a difference and help people in our own communities, our own neighborhoods, and our own lives. You don't want to miss this powerful episode. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Michelle. Michelle, welcome to the One Girl Revolution podcast.
Thank you for having me today. What a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me to have you on this podcast, and I've really been looking forward to it. I know I shared with you, but just for all of our listeners, I stumbled upon your story just through Facebook, through social media. So I think a lot of times the world or all of us, we're kind of hard on social media, but this podcast is all about the stories that not everybody knows. And I was so excited when I stumbled upon your story, and I knew the second that I was reading about you that I had to have you on the podcast. So thank you so much for being on. I want to talk about Bountiful Blessings and all the great work that you're doing. But before we get into that, I would love to rewind, and I would love for you to share a little bit about your own story, because I know there's a lot to unfold. You've been homeless, you've struggled with addiction,
Yes.
abuse. I know you've been through a lot. Can you share a little bit about your life, where you're from, and who you are a little bit as a person?
Yes, I can. So I am Michelle Robinson. I was born and raised here in Detroit, Michigan, and just had a little different childhood than everybody else because I chose to go a different way. Starting out, first of all, had a son at a very, very young age. I was pregnant at 13 years old. And, back then being pregnant that young, it was against the law. So thank God for my mother and my grandmother that helped me out raise this young man that I have today. And so being raised in Detroit, I decided to take a different road. I chose to sell drugs in my life. And basically I was looking for love in all of the wrong places. But unfortunately, the street showed me the best love that I ever had. So I thought it was. And I ventured off into dabbling. After, selling drugs, I dabbled in drugs, and I ended up 21 years old, IOD off of crack cocaine.
Wow.
And so at that point, my son was 7 years old, and I went into treatment. Well, when I went into treatment, unfortunately, what I do today was not available to me back then. So I had a 90-day program. And before that, I tried to commit suicide. So they placed me in Kingswood Mental Institute. So anybody that tries to commit suicide or anything like that, you're going into a mental institute. No ifs, ands, or buts. And at that time, I was the lowest part in my life because I was battling addiction. I was a young mother. I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't even really want nobody to know that those was the things that I was doing because I was in a good place and then I went down. So I would say I was in the closet. Well, after that came about, after my bit with using drugs, um, I got my life back together. 36 years cocaine free now. And in the midst of that, I experienced a lot of things in my addiction. Kate, I was beaten, I was kidnapped, I was raped, I was OD'd, I was disrespected, I was homeless, I slept in the garage, I robbed people, I begged people. I did a lot of things that a lot of women wouldn't do. But the good part about it, so I thought was I had the materialistic things, the cars and the money and the clothes and with that, the downside of it was I lost my dignity, I lost my self-respect, and at one point of a time I was homeless. Unfortunately, I hurt the people that love me the most, which is our family, my mother, my father, and the relationship was just broken because when you using drugs, you just hurt the people close to you, stealing, lying, cheating, and that's what I did. And so coming out of that, I had to make amends. I had to get my self respect back. I had to think of myself. You have this little child, and Kate, that was the only thing that made me come back was I got this little boy, and I'm a mother and a father. And what am I going to do? And so I'm like, Lord, just help me. So my promise to God, I said, God, if you ever help me get out of this position, I promise I'll help somebody else. So, during that, my father passed away last November, but my father was militant, very strict. And so he was, abuse can come mentally, verbally, physically. And I was verbally abused to the point where if you say, Michelle, I'm going to call your father, I go somewhere and sit down because I know my dad is coming. I know what he's coming with. And so I didn't want that. But today I thank God that he did that for me because it made me make a commitment to myself to do better. I wanted to do better. But when you dealing with addiction, addiction is a disease and people don't understand that. We don't mean to hurt people that we love, but it's a disease. And so we need help. And so I had to, I say, quarantine myself as if I was an infectious disease against myself because I was killing myself. And I just asked God to deliver me. And at that point, my sister Sheila, she passed away in 2020. I felt like she was the only person like was praying for me. No matter what, she never judged me. She was like, "Oh, God, gonna get you off these drugs." But I was like, God never comes when I call him, Kate. God, only reason why I called God was, can you let the dope man be in, or could he have some good dope? Or now the people after me, God, please help me out. Don't let them find me. Don't let them come to my mother's house. And after I got myself together out of that and went into treatment and Bountiful Blessings came about because I feel like I'm bountifully blessed. Not only did I struggle with homelessness, addiction, abuse, I struggled with, I've had 20 surgeries in my life. And I feel like God gives me that extra push just to keep it moving to help somebody else because my motto is if you need me, I'm coming. If you call me, I'm on my way. I didn't have that in my addiction. Back in the 80s, the addiction was real strong. I didn't have that. Matter of fact, my father came and got me from the treatment center and he was drunk. So I had to deal with that and then go back home with my mom. And not only was I, dealing with addiction coming out of rehab, my stepfather was dealing with addiction. My sisters, her boyfriend was dealing with addiction. And so we all lived in the same house. I did steal a lot, but I wasn't stealing everything. Everything got blamed on me. But after I got myself together and I kind of look back like, wow, I hurt a lot of people. It was things that was done to me that I couldn't even imagine to say. And people say, why do you tell your story like that? Well, I'm very transparent. I hope that my story can help some young woman, some young man not to go and do the things that I did. Before we had COVID, every third Friday, I would go down to the juvenile. Bountiful Blessings would go down there and talk to the young girls. And through the grace of God, there go I. It's like nobody is out here to talk to nobody. Nobody understands. People say, yeah, she's addicted. She's a crackhead. She's this. It is what it is. But I tell you what I'm not today. I am not addicted to anything. I'm addicted to God. Through my journey, He has helped me, connected me, abled me, forgiven me, gave me strength to go on to move to help the next person.
And you're
And
helping so many people through your own story and your own journey. And I think it's important. And I'm so grateful for you sharing your story, because we've all been maybe not in exactly the same place that you have been, but we're all one step away from that. Like I've done a lot of work with incarceration and Cook County Jail, women at Cook County Jail. And I always feel like we're all one step away from that, right? And I think things that you've experienced, maybe people are going through something similar, and your story can give them hope. And the people that you're working with through Bountiful Blessings, you're able to give them hope, but also just perspective and insight and say, you know what, I've been there.
Yes. And I work with some amazing women. I work with all things women, Veteran Lives Matter. Now I'm working with you. These people collaborate with me in my life to get me what I need. I worked with my dentist, Dr. Sheila Armstrong. It's people now that trust me, that hear my story and want to help me. I just want people to know that it goes way further. It's so much help that's needed out here in today's society. And as opposed to turning a naked eye, Kate, I can't. I don't want to get emotional, but I can't turn my eye or my back on something that I went through and nobody helped me, knowing that it's thousands and thousands of women out here that need my help, that need the truth spoken in a manner where it's not transparent. You can identify with my story. I hurt on the inside when I think about homelessness, when I think about mental abuse, when I think about substance abuse, when I think about there is not one hospital out here that can help mentally ill people. Mental illness is real, and it comes from addiction. It comes from being beaten. It comes from going through things that we go through in our everyday life. And to look back on my life, I think I would do it all over again to be where I am today, to be in this position, to carry out the help. One thing I stand on is the Bible says, clothe my people, feed my people. It shouldn't be a cost to do that. It shouldn't be a cost to go out here and have a conversation. At Bountiful Blessings, our building is like a safe haven where people can come and they like to have a conversation with me. I play my music. I don't judge nobody. I let everybody be free, because you never know the need that one might have. And just to come in the door of a welcoming, spirit-hearted house, it really changed your attitude. And I have met so many people that I'm grateful to, just to see them come through the door, to see they smile, to be on the welcoming side, Kate, to say like, hey, come on down here, what you need. And if I don't have it, I'm going to try to get it for you. And then they come back and let me see how they doing. And bring their newborn babies back to let us see what we've done. It's so overwhelming. Words cannot explain the joy, the happiness, the pureness that you experience just from making somebody smile.
Yeah. And what you're doing, Michelle, all of us can be doing. It's seeing people, building relationship with people from your own experience, like how much that would have changed the trajectory of your life. And I know, and I totally agree with you that if looking back, you probably would do things the
Yeah.
same. And I look back at my life, there are things that you're like, all right, well, maybe I would have done it differently. But overall, I think I'm happy that I went through even some of the struggles that I went through, because it made me who I am, and it brought me an empathy and an understanding of other people and what they've been through. But you think about how different your life would have changed, or maybe would have changed quicker if somebody had just built a relationship with you. And so that's what you're doing. And we all have that responsibility to look around. You don't have to be in Detroit, but to look around your own community and your own family. Like, you're talking about addiction and mental health, and there are so many, we all need something, right? We all need support and love and community. And so we all have the power to do that, exactly what you're doing. Donate to One Girl Revolution's nonprofit organization to help us continue our work, highlighting inspiring women and girls that are changing the world through their lives, promoting their work and their organizations, and building a powerful and positive force out in the world, dedicated to empowering women, their voices, and their stories. Donate at onegirlrevolution.com/donate. That's the number onegirlrevolution.com/donate. How did the idea for Bountiful Blessings, I know it sparked out of your own journey and your own needs throughout your life, but how did the idea for Bountiful Blessings spark? Like, was there a moment that you were like, okay, I'm onto something, or I need to start something? How did it start?
So it started about in 2012, and I came across a soup kitchen that I was helping out with, and they had clothes there. And I had so many clothes here, and I was like, well, can we do something with the clothes? So as a soup kitchen, everybody's coming off the streets. They need something. Can we do that? And the answer was yes. So I did it. And so then I kind of left there, started just collecting clothes in my basement, to the point where my son was like, Ma, your house is smelling like an old lady house. And so I was like, okay, we got to do something with these clothes. And then I started a Bountiful Blessings at Emmanuel House Recovery Program. And then that was in 2000, I think it was 15, 16. And I did that there until 2018, when my sister got sick. I had to take care of her. So I shut everything down and I was done. I was like, no, because I was tired of people taking advantage of me and taking things from me and hurting me and mistreating me. And I was just done. I was like, I'm done. And so my sister passed away. God said, no, you're not done. And so he had me call a friend of mine, Mina Davis. I did not want to make this phone call. And so I humbled myself and I made this call and I said, well, Mina, I think I want to go back to doing Bountiful Blessings, and I don't have a building and I need to do this and do that. And she says, well, why don't you come over to All Things Women and check my basement out? And we do. So I said, okay. The next day I went over there. I went down there and I was just so overwhelmed, like, oh my goodness, I want to do it. I went back upstairs and we talked, and she was like, come on and do what you do. And so that was round 2 of Bountiful Blessings. And then I met Quinn, Veteran Lives Matter. So we all 3 are here. We all 3 women, and we just trying to make a difference. And once I got it, matter of fact, I'll be there next month. It'll be a year. And within that year, we've done coat drives together. I mean, I'm open to the public 2 times a week. And it's just so amazing. We go outside, Bountiful Blessings go outside. We cook for the neighborhood. We can let them know that we're there. And this is a transitional home for abused women and children, All Things Women is. And so I'm there with Bountiful Blessings. And not only can we help the women there, we can go out into the neighborhood and welcome them in also and let them know, hey, there's somebody here that care. You're not by yourself. I mean, it might look like it, but the doors are open where you can come and shop. You can come and get food. You can come and get toiletries. You can come and get your babies food and milk. And the good thing about Bountiful Blessings, I love is everything is free. Everything is free. We're not like the Salvation Army and none of that. You don't have to pay for nothing. You can bring, if you got 15 bags and you can fill them up, come on with it. Like I went to the store a while ago and I saw the cans of formula for the babies. My God, $50. And I mean, the public donate these things to me so I can redonate them to the women that's there. Diapers. It's just amazing. I'm telling you, something that really touched my heart is a young lady came down and when I first opened, and she didn't have anything, and she had this baby with her, and she was crying to me. Now, one thing about me, if you say, can you pray for me? I'm going to do it right then and there. I'm not going to wait. And the spirit was on me so heavy just to tell her that God said it's going to be okay. Kate, I was talking to her and I just touched her hand and it was like fire. And 3 months later, she came back with this baby and she had her a job. She wrote me this letter telling me thank you for everything you've done for me. I just want to appreciate you. And sometimes that just means so much to me to see that in somebody. And then they come back and just say thank you. That's all I want is just a thank you for somebody just to see like, wow, they are out here trying to help somebody. They are trying to bridge the gap on homelessness and hunger and sisterhood. But here in Michigan, we have to literally beg, really, to get funding. And it's not, you can have a 50C, you can write grants, you can have an LLC. It's not that simple. And to be established from the ground of having nothing, wow, from having nothing. I literally came from the gutter to the upper. I literally slept in a garage, literally got bit by rats, literally had crawly stuff crawling over me, literally ODing, literally trying to commit suicide because I didn't want to live no more and I didn't know how to ask for help and people were judging me and I didn't know what to do. I'm this young mother and I don't have nothing and I had everything. So my esteem is so low and to feel like my family don't love me, my mother, my father don't love me. And
so many people feel that, Michelle, in this day and age too, things are so expensive. People are struggling with so many things, not just paying their bills, but you're exactly right. Mental health issues. And it's a lot of times in life, it feels like one thing after another. And you're like, when am I going to get a break? People dying in your family, struggling to get by, or you can pay for rent for 1 month. And then the next month comes and you have a pile of bills again. And so it can feel suffocating. And I think there needs to be more resources in this world for every person, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from, because even people that don't struggle financially, they still struggle with suicidality or addiction or all the things. And so what I love so much about what you're doing through Bountiful Blessings, and then you mentioned the other organizations, you guys have built this amazing trifecta that everybody is also welcome at. So I'm grateful to be connected to you now too. But you've built this community where people can come no matter what they need. You're there. And if you don't have it on hand, you're going to figure out how to get it. So for people that are listening, what are the types of things? I know you mentioned a lot of things that Bountiful Blessings has. I know clothes, baby formula. Tell me about all the things that you have there.
We have clothes, we have baby formula, I even have men clothes because we got to help the men out too. We have feminine products for the women, toiletry products, we have canned goods, we have food. I am connected with a couple of food banks that give me food, where we even able to bless the neighborhood with food. Um, we have we even have demonstrations. We have the Coast Guards come in, where we have defense training. We have grant writing classes, educational classes. Um, I am not a therapist, but I have a listening ear. If anybody, wants to come talk to me about certain things, people can talk to other people about certain things. I say I could talk to people about things that other people can't, because I've been through it. And so we offer this God fearing building. We are God fearing women. We are a sisterhood. We love each other. We help each other. The bonds that ties us together cannot be broken, because we have so much work to do. And so we do have this transitional home. We are full right now, and that's another thing that we hate to just say no. We're full, but there's nowhere for people to go. I wish we could just save the world and just get the biggest building in the world where people can just go to just relax, to get their life together. Everybody don't have insurance, so they can't afford a shelter. They can't afford a treatment program. And so some of these classes that, I try to teach to help them out, to at least give them some kind of encouragement, some kind of wisdom. Um, Maybe one day that we get enough funding so where we can open up other Bountiful Blessing sites. The good thing about it is I am willing and able to go to other sites to show them that what I do, to get more around the whole community, the whole going all out to the north, the west, the east, the south, just places where they can go to, here it is, come and take a shower, come and get a meal, sit down and use the computer, get some educations. The veteran young lady, Quinn, she helps the vets to do whatever they do. It's a lot out here that the vets just so unappreciated for saving this world and fighting for this world. But we just try to make it do what it do. Sometimes we get, funding, sometimes we don't. And one of my partners just has such a open heart, until sometimes, we out of our pocket with it, because you see somebody sleeping in a car with a baby, and they don't have the funds. You can't just say no. So we do whatever we could do to help them out. And that's what we need. We need volunteers, Kate. We need funding. We need resources. We need more donations, more partnerships, more sisterhoods, more people that's willing to come out and check us out and say, hey, these ladies are doing a good thing. Come on and help us out. These basketball players from Detroit, Red Wings, come on, help us out. Pistons, Lions, Tigers, Bears. My son, he works for Cook County. He works for Cook County too.
Oh, wow.
And so I go to Illinois a lot, with him, and try to start something there. I go to Atlanta, try to start something there. Anybody that's willing to help us, I'm willing to help them.
It's really incredible. And I think anybody could emulate the work that you're doing, even if it's just, they could start at Bountiful Blessings wherever they are, work with you on that, or just serve their own community by just keeping their eyes open and looking for people that need support and listening. I love that you said that word, that you have a listening ear, because we need to listen to the people around us, because we can get so busy in our own lives where sometimes you just lose sight of what someone else needs, or I'm too busy with my own stuff. I don't have the bandwidth to help so-and-so, but we need to to the best of our ability. We need to help and support one another. And you're a great example of that.
Thank you.
Watch One Girl Revolution's Emmy-nominated short documentary, The Girl Inside, on our YouTube channel or at onegirlrevolution.com. The Girl Inside features a poignant look at the stories of incarcerated women within Cook County Jail and a life-changing academic course taught by Dr. Laura Biaggi called Storytelling as a Healing Art. This short documentary reunites Dr. Biaggi with 5 of her former students for a special one-day course on the transformative power of our stories and our voices. And what is revealed is the girl inside. Watch the Emmy-nominated short documentary The Girl Inside today on YouTube or at onegirlrevolution.com. I know you shared a story of a woman who was helped through your work. Is there another story or two that comes to mind of someone who's been helped through Bountiful Blessings?
Yes, we have so many stories. I'm going to read you something that a young lady, wow, she sent to me. And she came in, I want to say she came in probably about 5 months ago. And the first message she left me was, "Good morning. Hey, Miss Michelle. How are you? Long time no talk to. Hope all is well. I just seen your light and wanted to reach out and speak and thank you for everything you helped me with, me and my children. And I miss you too. And I'm all better. I have a job now. Your energy is so pure. I appreciate everything about you. Man, I just wanted to let you know I will be back soon. And I wanted to let you know that I'm tapping in as soon as I come in to see you." And this was a young lady that came in with me, and she was pregnant at the time. And she was homeless at the time also, but we were full. We couldn't help her. And we referred her to another program, but she had to go outside of Michigan to get help. And when I see stuff like that, it just makes me happy. And so she's doing good now. She's got a job now. She's about to get married now. So her finances is good now. Her baby was born healthy because she was having some complications with the baby. And I prayed for her. I touched that belly. I rubbed some oil on that belly. And I asked God, through his mercy, let this baby be okay if it's your will. And so I got this text last Wednesday. And I just smiled. I'm like, just come on. I like the stories. We did a Christmas party and some of the kids never even seen Santa before. And so we had Santa there. We had what's the green man? We had the Grinch there. And the kids' eyes was lighting up. They had presents all over from the top. Our building is very unique. It's 4 floors in our building. Home Depot came and they did some work for us. And it's just so amazing. Some people come in and they see what we're doing and they grab our story. And so at Christmas, I was just so elated because that was my first Christmas there at All Things Women, seeing how they did their Christmas. It was so many kids and we had food and we had people donate meals to us, presents for everybody, even the parents. And they got to see Santa. This was the real Santa with the long coat with the belt bells, not the other bells. He had the belt bells. And they seen the Grinch and everybody was like, oh, even me, I love the Grinch. I was like, is that the Grinch? I had to take a picture with the Grinch. And it was just nice.
That's beautiful. And those types of things, it's magic for children and for families and for all of us. When you're struggling, sometimes you just need some sort of fun distraction that kind of feeds your soul, that will encourage you to just keep going. You know, we all need that. So Michelle, where do you go from here? I know you have big hopes and dreams for Bountiful Blessings. I know you shared about how, you know, you're having meetings in Atlanta and other places, and hopefully there will be Bountiful Blessings all over the country. But where do you hope, in your big hopes and dreams over the next 5 or 10 years, where do you hope that Bountiful Blessings goes?
I hope that Bountiful Blessings gets so big that we have so many donations and funding that big old building at the YMCA right there on West Grand Boulevard and Grand River, we can get that building. It's 480 rooms in that building. That's 480 people times 2 that I can help. Bring in some type of mental illness training help. Bridge the gap with homelessness and child abuse, substance abuse, making it as big as God will allow it to be. Staying humble in the meantime. just continue to meet people like yourself. You are such an inspiration when you reached out to me. Just hoping that God just keep us connected and keep on connecting us with other people. I hope that somebody just see this podcast and just say, I'm going to stop by on Calvary just to see what they're doing.
They
And
will.
just,
I know our listeners. They love our people. They love our community, and
yes,
I'm excited to stay in touch with you. And you can't get rid of me that easily, Michelle. I'm going
no,
to definitely be over
no
to
way.
Bountiful Blessings, and I'm excited that I get to see you soon. And I know that we'll keep working together. And women are stronger when we're together. I know that is a kitschy phrase that gets thrown around, but I truly believe it, that we are stronger together, and you and the other organizations that are paired are a great example of that. And so are we.
Yes, thank you. I thank you so much for having me.
I'm so grateful to have you on. And I know that everybody's going to continue to follow what you're doing, and One Girl Revolution will continue to promote everything that you're doing. And people, like I said earlier, people can emulate your work by just looking around them and looking for people that just need something and trying their best to serve whatever need is out there. But what can people do to support you, to support Bountiful Blessings? I know that you mentioned a few ways earlier, but just so it's fresh in people's minds, what can people do to support your work?
They can come out. I take volunteers all the time. That we can take donations. They can help me out with funding. They can reach me at www.bountifulblessings.net is the website. You can donate there. bountifulblessings09@gmail.com. You can call Bountiful Blessings. The office number is 313-733-6265.
I will put all of the ways to get in touch with you and the donation page, everything in the show notes, so people can easily get in touch with you. And also for corporate sponsors, if somebody is listening and they know that their business might donate either a product or financially, to reach out to you as well, because I know that every little bit helps. So, Michelle, I'm so grateful to have had you on the podcast. I always end this podcast on 2 questions. So I want to ask you these 2 final questions. You've talked about your own story, and you are a one girl revolution in my mind. And that's why I want to have you on this podcast. But who is a one girl revolution to you? Who is a woman or girl that's inspired you or continues to inspire you?
Mina Davis is one. Quinn Jones is one. Miss Kate, now in my life, is one. And my grandmother, she's not with us no more. She always told me, say what I mean what I say, just be nice saying it. And my sister, Sheila Flowers, who is not with us no more, that's my angel, my guardian angel. And I know as long as she's watching over me with God first, nothing can fail.
Well, their legacies live on through you and through all the work that you're doing. And I know that they're walking with you from the other side. They're walking alongside you. And that's one thing, too, that I've been thinking about a lot lately. You mentioned that you lost your father in November. I lost my mom in September. And I've been thinking so much about how we have all of our ancestors walking alongside us. And so even in the moments where we might feel alone or isolated, and even in the difficult things, when you were talking about homelessness or addiction, if anybody's listening and they're struggling in some way, to think about the army of women, our ancestors that are walking alongside us and standing with us. We're never alone.
That's right.
So because this podcast is dedicated to women and girls, I always end this podcast on one question. So I'd like to ask you, if you could leave women and girls around the world with one message, what would it be?
You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Believe in yourself. Believe in your motto. Get your confidence back up. And I say confidence is Godfidence for me. Stay strong. And if you ever need me, I'm just a phone call away, sisters. I'm here for you.
Michelle, you are such a beacon of light and hope, and I'm just excited to stay in touch with you. But thank you so much for all the great work that you do, and thank you for being on the One Girl Revolution podcast.
Thank you, Miss Kate. Thank you for helping me, and thank you for everything that you do. Looking forward to seeing you. I'll see you on the 8th, right?
Woohoo! Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at One Girl Revo. That's the number one girl REVO. And you can find more information on One Girl Revolution at onegirlrevolution.com. That's the number one girlrevolution.com.